All right, welcome everybody to the Wednesday afternoon team call called the 30-Minute Mentor Series. I'm super excited about this call today. I have a couple of my great friends who I'm excited to see next week with us. We have Mark Roy and Heather Layden. Well, I haven't met Heather in person, but I'm super excited to meet her. I've met Mark. I'm going to let you guys know a little bit about him as I introduce him. But first and foremost, remember that Coach Summit is next week. That's crazy to me that it's already here. So next week, this time, we're going to be in New Orleans. We have, if you're coming to Summit, we have a team event called Ignite New Orleans on Thursday morning. Super excited about that. And then Summit officially starts Thursday night with the kickoff ceremony. So for those of you that are new to coming to Summit, what to kind of expect is Thursday night is the first official meeting of the Summit. There's usually a kickoff event, and then the next day, Friday, Saturday, is just packed with general sessions and workshops. And it's literally like, for those of you that have been to Summit before, it's literally like the opening ceremony happens on Thursday night, and then Saturday night closing ceremony ends, and you think it was like one big meeting. Like you're like, holy smokes, this is over. So it's going to be super fast-packed and full of great information. But what I want you guys to remember about Summit is that a lot of the magic happens from not really what you hear, but what you see. Like you see people being celebrated and you're like, I could do that. I could do what that person's doing. Remember to take every minute that you can to meet other people, to ask them questions, to get to know other coaches on the team. That's a huge part of it as well. So it officially starts next week. If you're a new coach and you're like, what is this Summit thing? And for some reason, and if there's some way you could get to New Orleans next week, there's a new coach discount ticket for brand new coaches. They're still available. You could still get them. For anybody that's been a coach longer than 3 months, you can just show up at the door and buy your ticket as well. It's not too late. So it's not too late for those of you that have not committed to coming to the Summit next week. So we're super excited to meet everybody. It's going to be an amazing time. Gabby, myself, and the family are here in Maui. We're going to clean up this house we've been living in on Friday, fly overnight, arrive in Salt Lake Saturday. I'm going to deliver my 5 kids to Idaho, and then I'm going to come back, hop on a plane, leave Gabby in Salt Lake, come back, hop on a plane, and head straight to New Orleans. So we're going straight from Maui to New Orleans, and we'll be there on Monday. So those of you arriving early, make sure that you reach out to me so we can get to know you and get to spend a little bit more time with you guys. So with that being said, Dwana, I can't wait to hug everybody on this team. But with that being said, I'm going to announce Heather and Mark. Mark has been with me as a coach for a couple of years. One thing I love about Mark is his complete, when he decides to do something, his complete commitment to, like, he just makes the decision and then he follows through with it. He figures out a way afterwards. One thing that always sticks out to my mind about it is, he does Body Beast. I do Body Beast. I remember I hosted an event with Sagi in Idaho. And Mark lives like probably the furthest you can get from Idaho on the map. At the time, he lived the furthest away. He bought a ticket and a VIP ticket, and then he and his brother drove. And I don't remember, it was like 26 hours straight without even stopping. They drove across the country. They even slid off the road in the snow and wrecked their car, and they still showed up to the event. Like, that is the kind of person that Mark is. And I know the same thing is happening with Summit this year. They're like, we're going. We don't know exactly how this is going to work, but they committed to going. They're coming. And because of that, I know that they're going to do some amazing things and continue to do amazing things with their business. And that's why I wanted them on the call with us today. So it was just about a half a year ago where something clicked. And you start seeing Mark and Heather everywhere on Facebook out of nowhere. Even though he's been with me for 2 years, it was 6 months ago. You guys know, you've seen, they're just there. So I know each and every one of you guys wants to be there where you're seeing people know who you are, know what you're doing, and you kind of have that credibility behind your name of what you're doing as a health and fitness coach. So when that happened, they began to also, it wasn't just that they were there and loud, they began to hit Success Club every single month in their business, and they have some tips and some advice that they want to give to you guys. So with that being said, Mark and Heather, I'm going to pass the time over to you guys.
Awesome. So thank you. So I think one of the things that popped in my head before hopping on here was I feel like Heather and myself can probably relate to most Beachbody coaches. Like, we've never hit Success Club 100. We've never hit Success Club 40. You know, there's coaches out there that do that, and that's awesome, and I love getting tips from them. But I also believe in this business, if you can't relate to somebody, you can't, it's like you just don't understand. So I want you guys to understand before I even get into some stuff. Like Scotty said, I've been a coach for a couple of years, but I would say for a good year and a half, like, I failed like miserably. Like, I signed up a couple people, helped some people, but I never hit Success Club consistently, and I just didn't understand things. So, but anyways, like, we'll get more into that in a little while. But so way back before I signed up, I was not in a good place mentally. I was partying all the time, and I was working like over 12 hours a day, and just absolutely like fed up with it. And I remember like for me personally, I don't like being told what to do. I don't like being told what to wear. I don't like being told you can go to lunch at this time. I don't like being told any of that crap. Like, I didn't want to feel like a slave. So I ran into an old friend from school who had built a business, done his thing, living life like I wanted to be, but at the time was everything I wasn't. And I was like, how do I do that? And he had told me something one day, and I had an aha moment. And somehow, some way, Beachbody, like a week later, like popped into my life somehow. Like, I don't know why, I don't know how. I had done P90X like 4 years prior, but like I didn't do anything Beachbody related. But for some reason, after talking to him, it like came into my life. And I remember sitting down at the pond down by the house, and I remember being on my phone, literally like, what, I don't know what this is. And I saw Scotty, and I saw Lindsay Matway, and I was like, I don't know what the heck this is, but it looks really cool, and I need a change, and I'm just gonna do it. But then I stopped, and I was like, I don't know, it's $160. Like, am I really gonna do it? Am I gonna spend the money? And I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna blow it on alcohol anyways. I'm gonna go party, I'm gonna go blow the money. Like, I'm doing it. So I signed up, and I remember getting a text message from Scotty maybe a day or so later. And that's kind of how this all began. And like, it's been a roller coaster. It's been a lot of ups, a lot of downs, but like the future, I'm filled with hope. I'm excited about life. Like, there's so many good things because I took a chance on myself. So, you know, I'm forever grateful for that. So you want to tell them a little bit about how you got started?
Okay, so I was working in the corporate world, and I had a really good job, and I was there for a long time. But there were a lot of problems. Like, my salary was capped off. And because I was salary, I had to always work anytime anyone called out. I missed holidays, I missed birthdays, I missed everything, you name it, I missed it. And being a manager, actually, one of the crappy jobs that Mark worked at was for me because I hired him. So that's how we got to know each other. So I had been going to the gym for like 5 years, just doing kind of like the normal thing. And I think Mark invited me for, over the course of a year, he invited me to check it out. Now, I knew he did something with health and fitness. I knew he was really in shape, but I didn't know what he did. I had never heard of Beachbody. I'd never seen an infomercial. It just never caught my attention. Like, I had no idea what it was. So he was really great about it. Never really salesy, just kind of offered to, you know, invite me to go with him. So one day I was like, you know what, I'll go. And we went and we did Body Beast with him and his brother. And I fell in love with it. I absolutely loved it. It was amazing. I was like, this is awesome. And then the next day at work, he brought me in Shakeology. And being in the corporate world in the morning, I was like always super busy with meetings and conference calls. And he brought me the shake, and it was delicious, yummy. I was so full because I didn't eat in the mornings ever because I was way too busy.
I don't even think you finished it.
No. They even asked me, like, what are you doing for lunch? And I was like, I am full. I am not eating lunch. Like, I had no idea that it was super healthy or really good for me. I was just like, this is amazing. So the next day I signed up for, as a discount coach just to get the discount, and I got, I think Hammer and Chisel was just coming out. I was super excited about that. And
but one thing I want you guys to realize, we weren't together through any of this. We weren't officially together.
No.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay.
So.
But I think for me, like shortly after I got started, he would invite me over to team calls just like this, but they were late at night. Scotty was doing them at like 9 o'clock at night. So I would go over and Mark would be on a team call like this, and he'd be like, come get on the video. And I'd be over in the corner like, I don't want any part of this. I'm not getting on camera. No way. Too scared. I'm like, he's crazy. These people are a bunch of strangers. This is so odd, because I was so used to like morning conference calls with district managers and regional vice presidents and getting yelled at. And it took me a really long time to understand that these weren't strangers. These were friends that became family. And it was such an eye-opening experience, and just such a wonderful journey. So I am very grateful.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about us. So actually Beachbody brought us together. We just honestly, like, once I invited her to try out Body Beast, it was like things just kind of happened. We just started hanging out together, started doing our thing. And then when we moved to South Carolina, we've been here for like 8 months now. And that was so we like Scotty said in the beginning, like even if we don't know what the hell we're doing, we'll figure it out. Like, we're like, let's just get up and move to South Carolina. Like, we weren't together for a long time. We were just kind of hanging out, but we wanted to do something totally different. We both wanted to live near the beach, and we were like, let's just do it. So who needs Match.com? That's funny. So like, I believe that everything happens for a reason. And you know, whether you make $1 million in this business or you never sell a challenge pack ever, I think there's something for everybody that they can benefit from this. Like, whether it's the health and fitness side, whether it's just finding new friends, hanging out with people. Like, Coach Summit's a great thing. Like, who cares? Like, all these different things that are just so great. So anyways, well, let's get into some, like, before we keep rolling, we'll go over our 30 minutes, but we get excited, we just keep talking. So Heather and I, we're like, what do we want to share? And I think for some people, we like thought about like what we wanted to learn before, like, does that make sense? Like, what we wanted to learn before we like really started gaining some traction.
Yes, because we fail forward. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we failed like we fail every single day, like 1 million times. Like, it's unbelievable. But we're moving forward. That's the main thing. So we put together some social media tips, some branding tips, and if you were on a call like last time that we hosted, which was like a couple months ago, we were talking about living out loud, and that for me is probably the biggest thing that has changed for the business. Like, we aren't afraid to post certain things. We aren't afraid to post about the coaching opportunity. We aren't afraid to post about challenge groups. We aren't afraid to post about anything. The way I look at it is, if you want to attract who you want. So if you're a specific person, well, let's just say, like, Scotty's he talks about God all the time, and he talks about going to church and things like that. Maybe that's not you. And one of the things that we found was our voice, and you have to be authentic. So if you talk about God, do it, and don't be afraid. Like, if somebody doesn't like it, they can delete you or unfriend you. Who cares?
It's not your tribe. It's not who you're looking for.
Right. So if you swear a lot, you know, talk and swear, like, talk normal, be authentic. Don't be afraid to hold back. And if somebody doesn't like it, they don't have to follow you. So that's, I think, one of the biggest things in this business is people are afraid to post certain things or talk a certain way. If you talk a certain way in real life, talk that way on social media. I think, do we want, okay, yeah, so one of the things you want to hit on where did it go?
I don't know where you're going with this, so.
Well, I get excited. I just start rolling. I don't know where I was going with it either. But either, so what I see from a lot of coaches, and I'm not saying it's wrong, but I see a lot of coaches just post about their workouts and like their like Shakeology pictures. And to be honest with you, as far as social media and branding yourself, if that's all you're doing is taking not selfies, but just taking pictures of Shakeology, and you're like, oh, it's a super awesome dense nutrition shake, people don't really care. There are 1,000,001 fitness people in the world, and the goal is to stand out from everybody else. I can go right now on Facebook or Instagram and find probably 1,000,000 people that have all sorts of different shakes, whether it's Beachbody shakes or a completely other shake. So I think the average coach that I see, if I go to their Facebook page, a lot of people, it's their workout and a picture of Shakeology. And it's like just those two things a lot of the time. And
So I'm going to jump in here. A lot of times what I see is, and was guilty of this 100%, was posting a picture of my workout and be like, yeah, I crushed my workout. Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares that I crushed my workout. So we got to talk about, I think what they connect more with is our struggles on days where I didn't crush my workout. It was a real challenge. And, I cried before it was over. Those are things that are going to help connect you with the people that are out there. Because every day, if I just crush my work, nobody can relate to someone who feels like they're a superhero and just does everything perfect. So it's about finding your voice and being authentic.
Yeah, and just like Scotty and I have talked about it, it's like we feel like we don't share enough of the struggles. And I think a lot of people fall into that category because we think we have to be a certain way for people to like us or to want to be a part of it. But realistically, people aren't going to connect with that, like Heather said. So
let's go into, because that really leads into telling your story.
Yeah, so here's another thing that's totally changed for Heather and myself is, and I think I'm really good at it, and I have to call her out a lot of times, is you have got to share stories.
I'm getting better though.
Yeah, on social media, in real life, if you're not sharing stories and you're just posting the workout pictures or you're just posting Shakeology, again, people aren't going to care, but people will connect with stories. So that is a huge thing. The more stories you tell, the more interaction you'll get. Like Heather, I remember when I first started, like, how you have time hop or whatever on Facebook that pops up. I look at some of my old posts and now I'm like almost embarrassed by them because they were just not good.
Workout and Shakeology,
yeah. Workout and Shakeology, and I killed it, and this is awesome. And I got like a few likes here, a few likes there. And what I've learned is for social media, you have got to share the stories. Stories. What is that? Stories sell, facts tell.
Yep.
And it's so true.
Yeah, well, one of the things that we talk about all the time is social media is there just to pique interest, right? So just get them interested in what you're doing so that way you can talk to them.
Yeah, whether it be about lifestyle, whether it be about the workouts, whether it be anything, whatever your particular interests are, you have to tell a story. So yeah, one of the things that we did, and as far as branding goes, is if you'll notice on our posts, we hashtag Team Destiny a lot. So one of the cool things is, as awesome as it is to be a Beachbody coach, there's a ton of them. If you're not standing out from all the other Beachbody coaches, you're going to fall into the normal Beachbody coach. And so what we did way back was start hashtagging Team Destiny for so many different things, and it's caught on with our team, which is great. But people will tell us like, oh, that Team Destiny thing you guys are doing is awesome, or you guys are so inspirational, go Team Destiny. And it's not like go Beachbody or go this. It's like if you can't stand out from everybody else, like I feel like you're just going to get stuck with all the other coaches, whether it's another company or Beachbody, so doesn't mean you have to hashtag everything, but if you can come up with your own brand that's gonna lead you to being able to find those people that you want, right? Like to attract. So we wanted to share with you guys how to tell your story. So I don't know if you guys have a notepad or something to take notes, but if you want to explain to them how to tell their story, just real quick.
Yep. So there's 4 key components into telling your story, and this is so important.
It's very important.
I really failed at this in the beginning until I learned how to do it correctly to be able to connect with people. So 1 is tell your background, you know, where you came from, what you did. 2 is
go slower so they can write. So
well, can we put it in the notes?
Okay, yeah, we'll put it in the notes.
Thanks.
Oh, Scotty's got that. He's on top of it.
Yes. 2 is what you didn't like about your background. 3 is how you found a solution. And 4 is how you feel about your future. And one of the most important thing I learned from this is the biggest key to this is number 2, what you didn't like about your background. I think a lot of people, especially me personally, when I very first started, it was always number 3 and 4, what my solution is and how I feel about my future. I love Beachbody. This is awesome. You got to try it. My future is awesome. But without telling that previous story of how I had to work every weekend and I missed every holiday and I had to work Christmas and just telling that piece of all the struggles that I had.
Again, people can relate.
Yeah, they can much better than to, hey, I have a solution. You have to try this. Such a different vibe when you do steps 1 and 2. And for so long, when I started, I think I was just guilty of just doing 3 and 4 all the time. And that's where I really struggled with hitting Success Club and moving forward and connecting with people. And it's not perfect, but I'm getting better at telling stories in general and sharing my story.
Yeah. So to kind of just go off of that, it's like you have to build trust with people. Like we've all probably heard it, but that's how you start building trust is through the stories. People will, again, relate to the struggles, will relate to putting in 12 hours a day, will relate to you working 2 jobs and maybe picking up overtime and all that kind of stuff, because nowadays people do that stuff. If you loved your job, maybe you love your job, but maybe you're struggling with something else. I don't know. I don't really have like finances maybe, or maybe family time or whatever your story is, but that's what is ultimately going to help you connect with people. This is a people building people business. This is connecting with people. If you can't connect with people, you'll never be able to build this network marketing business. It's as simple as that. That's all we do is build relationships and help people find a solution. And our job is to just share with them and help them to education
and understanding.
Yeah. So that's all our job really is as coaches. And it's as simple as that. But it goes back to always telling your story or telling stories. Do we want to get away from social media? Like, does anybody have any questions or whatever? What other another social media tip I believe that's important is to have clear pictures.
Oh yes.
So a lot of people I see on scrolling, if you see coaches or whatever, their pictures aren't so clear or they're just not good shots. Heather and I sometimes honestly will go and do like photo shoots in different areas where we'll bring changes of clothes and just take pictures somewhere, just so we have stuff, just in case we don't have like a good picture or a good opportunity. Like it's okay to take pictures in other places if you're going to be somewhere nice or it's good lighting or whatever. And I don't think that's always like, it has to be 100% great pictures and stuff like that, but people are attracted to that. That's what stops people from scrolling is the picture. If you have a good picture, somebody will at least stop and usually at least hit like. Even if they don't read your post, they'll at least hit like.
One thing that I was going to say too, what I found is I get a lot more like interaction if I'm doing an invite to a challenge group or just an invite to the coaching opportunity. I get more interaction if it's not like a workout pic. Like I'll do just something where we're at the beach or
we did the pool picture.
Yeah,
yesterday.
at the pool, just like a regular having fun out doing something, but it's not necessarily anything. The picture has nothing to do with workout, but then I just kind of talk and tell my story. So that seems to be working.
Yeah. Or you can always take a picture of, with your Shakeology in the picture, but you want to be in the picture and talk about something totally different. And the shake happens to be in the picture.
Subliminal messaging.
Yeah. So, I think a lot of people overthink it sometimes. I think too, another tip that we can give is, I think like a lot of people say post like 3 to 5 times a day. I would say, in my opinion, and I'm not a social media guru or anything, but it's just what's been working for us, is like 2 to 3 posts a day is usually really like a good number. And kind of like space them out. But I know other people that post a lot, but it's just what's working for us. So another thing, let's get away from social media a little bit. I can't really read all the comments coming in.
Real quick, one question, Mark. Melody Ryan asked, how and where do you come up with such good content each day to post?
Okay, so there's a few different things. Number one, I will sometimes take a little bit of time to scroll other top coaches' pages and find out what they're kind of posting about. And then if I see like a really good one, I'll like steal it and then make it my own. So that's one way. Another way is sometimes I just try to get like super creative and tell just a really good story. Like sometimes it takes me a little bit longer than maybe the average person, but the way I look at it, if I just post a picture without good content, you're not really adding value. Our goal is to add value into people's lives, into the world.
Here's my favorite of what he does is every single time, not every single time, but a lot of times when he gets a objection from somebody that we've talked to about joining, he will use that as fire for his fuel his fire, and he will come up with a really creative, great way to talk about it and to overcome it through a post. Like if we're talking to someone at night, maybe the next morning he'll get up and he'll make a really great post about how to overcome that specific objection without calling that person out or being mean about it, but like he'll talk about it like.
I get fired up really easily sometimes, but yeah, that's so overcoming objections is a great way, or a great post or a video. Yeah, great opportunity for a video or a post or whatever.
The other thing that he does that he's really good at is every time one of our coaches has a question, he'll make a video, shoot it to them, and then upload it to his YouTube. So it's great YouTube content.
Yep, that's another one. So yeah, if you don't have a YouTube yet, I would definitely recommend that. So any video you ever make, upload it to your YouTube. You never know who you might reach in the future with that.
Yeah, so usually we're in the middle of doing stuff and he's like, wait, I gotta make a video. So
yeah, so I know we're running a little low on time, so there's a couple other things real quick. Number one, if you want to build this business like big, like your goal is to do this full time and you want to build like a massive business, what is it, 3 to 5 invites?
Yeah.
They say like 3 to 5 invites doesn't work. Like you have got to be talking to more people. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but you have to be talking to like a ton more people if you want to build like a really big, massive business. The more eyes that you get on videos, the more eyes you get on like the sneak peeks, the behind the scenes sneak peeks, the more eyes that you get on your social media. That's what is going to pique people's interest. And the more people you talk to, the better turnover you'll have, and the higher rate of people who actually sign up. And so on the months that we've absolutely crushed it, like we've gone way above what we used to do. So 3 to 5 invites is great a day, but if you can do 10, 15, 20 a day, that's going to help you move your business forward a lot faster. So for like people who want to just kind of just do their thing, like 3 to 5 invites is not a bad thing. But you definitely need more.
Anyone you can tell your story to. You go buy a new pair of shoes. Hey, you got a minute? Let me tell you my story. Whoever you can talk to.
And then try to connect with them on Facebook and right?
Yes.
So another thing too, and then we'll wrap it up, is you always want to be expanding your market. So what Heather and I ran into, I would say about a month ago or 2 months ago, was we were finding that it was the same exact people liking our posts every single day. And what we realized that we had done was stopped connecting and friend requests as much. So sometimes we'll just go on friend request sprees. You never know who you're going to reach. And if you will put the time in to connect with new people, you'll start realizing your posts start getting more interaction and newer people liking and commenting. So if it's the same old people every single time, there's nothing wrong with people liking your posts, but if it's the same people or just Beachbody coaches, it means you're not reaching enough people, and you need to make sure that you're expanding your network, because if you're not, you're not going to be able to build the network. So
agreed.
Is there anything else? I don't know. I guess that's it, Scotty. Like I'm sure we could probably keep going, but I know our half hour's up here.
No, that was awesome, Mark and Heather. Some great and amazing tips for social media. I know some of the questions came up in there, and answered them throughout there. But yes, as you guys take in and apply what Mark and Heather shared today, make sure your whole Facebook page is public. Your photos, your posts, everything is visible to everybody, to friends of friends, to everybody, because that's how your market is going to expand, which Mark and Heather were talking about there at the end. So I just want to give a testimonial of the importance of that. Guys, when I started my Facebook as a brand new coach, I had 224 friends on Facebook, and now it's maxed out at 5,000 friends with 20,000 people that have clicked follow. So I know sometimes when you're beginning to think like I've talked to everybody, or everybody already knows what I do and they're not interested. Everybody already none of my friends want to invest money. Everybody is too cheap. Like those are things I always hear from a brand new coach. You got to think much bigger and realize that there are thousands, millions of people out there that are looking for a solution. So if you could take what Mark and Heather taught today about living out loud and using your social media to reach these people, and by sharing your story, you're going to reach them. But you'll never reach them if the story's not told. If they don't ever see that photo, if they don't ever read that story about that objection that you had, when somebody might take an objection and sit and sulk on it and feel sorry for themselves that they got an objection, you could be like Mark and take that objection. What's the lesson from it? How can I educate other people that have that objection with my personality, put it out there, and that's how people are going to connect with you guys. So I love you guys. Thanks, Mark and Heather, for teaching us these amazing tips today. Next week, we'll be coming at you with the 30-Minute Mentor Series live from Coach Summit. Well, the day before Summit starts. We're super excited to see everybody there. For those of you that aren't there, make sure that you're watching, like Carl Deichler's page, the Team Beachbody 411 Facebook page, my page, so you can hear all the new announcements, everything that's coming out. There's going to be some big announcements that I know about, so that I can't tell you about. So make sure that you're watching, make sure that you're paying attention, and you're ready to run with it. So I hope you guys have an incredible rest of this Wednesday. Let's crush it this month in July. There's millions of people out there that we need to help. Let's put a gym in every single person's own front room. Okay, guys, that's our mission. Let's do it, and let's end the trend of obesity. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.